Welcome back to another episode of Say It, Benjamin.
I'm not saying.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Cooking with a Colonel. So, Cooking with a Colonel and the Cadet. Today, so again, digging through some of my mom's old recipe books, and I found this one, Traditional Irish Cooking. And what we're going to make for you today is beef and Guinness casserole. And we're going to serve that with potatoes. I haven't made up my mind yet if we're going to go mashed or just boiled. Probably just boiled. That's pretty easy. But we're going to go over that today. And again, like I talked about in the last video, I want to touch on and cook a lot of the things around the world, the places we've been, my happy memories. You remember Ireland?
Yeah, I remember Ireland.
So I was stationed in Germany back in 2000. Oh, this was the first time, right?
2004.
This was 2004 to 2008. And we went, this was probably 2007, we went over to Ireland with Arlene's sister. They were stationed in Italy at the time. We all flew over together to Ireland, to the Dingle Peninsula is where we went. So a lot of happy memories there in Ireland. We'll talk about those as we go. We're going to start off with, and I'll tell some stories about Ireland and some of the things there. We had we're going to start off with, I've got a 2 to 2.5 pound roast, and I just cut it and I just thin sliced it. All right, so just cut it thin, and I've got a hot pan here. We're going to just brown this meat up here, and we'll just stir it around and brown it. That's all we're looking to do. Yes, I realize probably should brown a little bit at a time, but I'm just going to kind of keep stirring it, keeping it simple. I put a little bit of olive oil in the pan there, so we'll just keep stirring this around, browning this meat up. I think I've learned my lesson on the heat. I'm going to turn the heat down and let it brown up a little slow. So I cut it thin so it shouldn't take too long. So what we're going to do is come back over here. You can see the menu or the ingredients and everything down below in the directions. I took one onion, I already chopped that up, and I chopped up leeks. The menu calls for, or the recipe calls for leeks. So thin slice the leeks. Talked about 2 carrots. All we got are these little baby carrots. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball maybe what the size of 2 carrots looks like. That's the difference with cooking like this and then baking desserts, is you don't have to be precise. You know, I like carrots. If I put a little bit extra in there, that's okay, right?
Yes.
You don't have a problem with that, do you, Ben?
I like carrots.
Do you like carrots?
Yes.
So we'll cut these up while that's browning over there, and I keep going back and forth. And just kind of keep stirring this around and browning it up. Smells good.
Meat.
I've got my casserole ready to go. When this browns up, I want to transfer the meat over there, and then we'll saute these vegetables a little bit. All that's going to go in that casserole dish. Come back over here, chop our carrots up a little bit. Yeah, what do you remember about Ireland?
I remember it was really green.
Yes.
There's lots of green everywhere.
That's why they call it the Emerald Isle.
Yes.
You know that?
Yes, I did.
I believe we have some viewers from Ireland, actually.
Hello.
Hello. Good. What is hello in Irish?
I don't speak Irish.
Erin go bra, is that?
Go bra.
Anyway, so we got there. We toured around the Dingle Peninsula quite a bit, and we went over. You said you remember one place we went.
I remember the Blarney Stone.
Blarney Stone, yeah.
You gotta like kiss it upside down, and you'll have good speech.
Good speech.
Yes. Good
like give a good speech or
good. You talk good.
You talk good. Apparently, you did not kiss it, did you?
I don't think I did actually. No.
You were not an English major, are you?
No, I do not write papers.
I don't speech good.
No speeching good.
You know, so that was the legend, was that if you kissed the Blarney Stone, you got the gift of gab. That was the thing. You were able to. So I did. Did you know that? Could you have guessed that?
No.
Did I kiss the Blarney? Yeah. Also gives you the gift of humility.
I'm pretty humble.
You're pretty proud of how
I'm pretty
humble
proud
you
of
are.
how humble I am, yeah.
So we cut these carrots up here. I'm going to put that kind of in the
That's about 2
stack
carrots.
here. Probably a little bit more.
It's about like
menu
4.
calls for 2. I'm piling it all on the plate there. It's pretty precise.
Yes. That looks good.
Keep stirring this meat here. So, like I said, I probably should do small batches, but you know what? This is sometimes I'm lazy.
This is cooking with the Colonel.
It is, you know. I'm going to let the pan do the work. That's what colonels do. They let other people do the work.
Delegate.
Delegating.
Let's delegate.
You pan. Cook that meat now.
It's order.
And it's cooking the juice off, and that's fine because I'm going to use that juice to kind of braise those vegetables a little bit. So it's browning up nice, and we're going to cook it on the casserole thing anyway in a little while. So come back over here. I'll wash this. I did wash the celery off here. For me, celery, I kind of cut the rough ends, the tips off there. I'm going to put that out there for our forest friends. Do you think the deer around here know what leeks are?
No.
I don't even know if leeks grow around here.
I don't think they do. Don't they grow like next to rivers?
I don't know.
All I know is they always talk about leeks in those Redwall books. It's the only way I know what a leek is.
Yeah, I know that's real big in English cooking in the UK. So call for it in this recipe. Yeah, the Blarney Stone. You know, if you've ever been there, you go and it's hanging over. You walk up to it, and it's like a cut. It's up on a castle wall, and there's a cutout for it. And you walk over to it, and you can look down. There's a hole, and it's just straight down. I don't know if it was a lavatory or something before. I don't know, but it's a hole, and it goes straight down like 20 feet down, right? But there, set in the wall, is this Blarney Stone. And what you do is you lay down on the ground, get on your back, and then they have the guys right there that kind of help you, and you scoot yourself back and lean back, and you got to kiss it. And you have to. In these days and times, I'm pretty sure the Blarney Stone has gone down because
a little bit.
If you look at it, it's just slathered with the hundreds of thousands of people that have kissed it. You just got to put that out of your mind. You know what I'm saying, Ben?
Yeah.
You got to just put that out of your mind. You got to ignore that. So, All right. So, you know what? I kind of browned this up, and that's fine. I kind of got it going. Meat. I don't mind undercooking meat.
Tastes better.
I think so. So I'm going to take this kind of slotted spatula there. What I want to do is pull this meat out of here.
Just transfer it over.
Yeah, bring it over to this casserole here. And then this juice, I'll probably pull some of this juice off of here too and pour that in the pot. I'll leave a little bit of this juice in here to help kind of flavor the veggies a little bit, and it's all gonna go in there anyway. Yeah. It's kind of like you always like to eat one thing at a time, Benjamin, and always just mix stuff together and eat it because it all goes to the same place, right?
Well, it's
in your stomach.
Well, you know what they say, it's the journey that counts, not always the destination. So I'm savoring the journey of taste.
There you go. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some of this juice. I'll pour some of it in here. Pour it off a little bit. There. Add a little bit of this olive oil back in. I'll get this heated up. What I'm going to do is put all those veggies in there. So I got carrots, onions, celery, and leeks. And I'm going to just kind of saute these for about 5 minutes or so.
All at once?
All in there, sure. And as they cook, it's going to release some juices too. Alright, so there's that. Now, I've got 3 cloves of, let me get back to it in a second. Let me kind of stir that around a little bit. So we'll just kind of saute that a little bit. Oh, that jailbreak. Get back to your onion. All right. I'm on my best behavior. Normally I would throw that right back in the pan because nobody but me saw that, but now we've got video evidence, so I gotta run a tight ship, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or a tight airplane. So I'm gonna come back here, I got 3 cloves of garlic. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get those ready. Now again, I'm a big fan of garlic. I got this big old meat knife here. The simple way for me, I used to cut off the ends. So, you know, I used to cut off the ends and then cut off, and if you could, you know, peel it a little bit, cut that end off, peel that, and then get my fingers in there. That's the way I used to do garlic. Now I just take it and I smash it, and it just peels off real nice and easy. See that?
Real nice.
Real nice. Instead of having to get it all in my fingernails and all of that. And I guess a lot of cooks say too, I've read techniques that smashing it kind of really releases a lot of the flavor too. So you could do that, sure. So, see the beard start to come back. See that, Benjamin?
Yes.
So, I don't know how long that'll last. Alright, you hear the veggies starting to, good, you can kind of smell those onions going too. Oh man.
Another one.
Yep. Well, that landed on the stove, so that don't count, does it? That's one thing Mom always talked about. She would say she would get really. She was always real nervous about onions falling behind stuff because it'd stink. So she was always very much nervous about onions and all. She was real careful about onions. All right, so we got that. How we doing? Check on those veggies real quick. See how we're doing. Go take a look and see. How they doing?
They're sauteing. You want me to stir them?
Yeah, sure.
Smells good.
Yeah. Just kind of turn them a little bit.
Yeah.
And get me a measuring cup here.
I'm not a lefty.
All right.
I'm not a lefty, if you can tell. This is more difficult than it looks.
All right. So,
all right.
Well, I remember a couple of funny stories from Ireland.
Was that where I busted my ear open?
No, that was Scotland.
That was Scotland? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you walked into a train, a column at the train. No, Ireland. I remember. One of the things we're gonna use for this recipe that it calls for is Guinness, which is a heavy stout beer that it's made in Ireland. Now, that's one thing I remember. Of course, you were too young. You don't remember because we didn't give you any. I don't remember. I don't think we did. I think you were too young. The Guinness over there, if you like Guinness, the Guinness in Ireland, I think they saved the best for themselves because it is tasty. I do remember that. But we're going to use Guinness with this. I'm going to finely chop this garlic up here. Just kind of chop it up. And this is another thing that you got to be careful about this. You get a jailbreak on this and it gets up underneath the counter, you're going to know about it here in about a week. It's going to start stinking. Some powerful garlic. Okay, so I've got about 1.25 cups of beef stock. So I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the meat here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Eventually we're going to put the veggies in with it. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, kind of get this going. So 1.25 cups of beef stock, or beef, what did I say, beef stock, or what's the other one? Beef stock and what? Test. Question for you, do you know?
Do you know? I don't know. Stew.
Stock. Beef stock. Is that what I said? What
You
did I
said
say?
beef stock.
Did I say beef stock?
You said beef stock.
Or what's the other? Anyway, somebody will remind me. I got so much going on here, I can't think.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So garlic goes in. We put 1.25 cups of that, and then what did I do with the? I got. Oh yeah, most important thing. we want 2/3 of a cup of Guinness in as well. So pot the top, 2/3 of a cup. Put this in as well. That's gonna, you can see how thick it is. Oh, it's like syrup. I think they put this on their pancakes in Ireland.
Probably.
It's good, tasty. We won't let that go to waste. Set that aside for later. Alright. So we got the veggies going here, kind of sauteing them here for a little bit, just kind of getting them, soften them up some. Now all of that is going to go in together, and then we're going to let this simmer for about an hour or so. Alright, so got, we'll put a little salt in. See, a little bit of salt. Using this pink Himalayan salt here.
I think it needs pepper.
Yeah, we'll put a little pepper in this time. So I know some people are a little sensitive to pepper, so salt and pepper to taste. There's ground pepper. What are these doing? They smell good. You can see as it sauteed, it starts cooking the water out of the vegetables.
Get smaller.
Yeah, it does. So, and it softens these up. So that smells good. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on these veggies. Salt just makes salt's like butter. Does everything taste better?
Yes.
Got to be careful with salt though, I've found, because you know you salt to taste and then you cook it for a long time and it condenses down and it really gets too salty sometimes. I've made that mistake before. So if you're cooking for a long time, it's best to err on the side of less salt, and because you can always add it later. Once you add too much,
Can go
you're
back.
kind of hosed. So we're gonna let this go a little. So anyway, so Bella, we went to see Riverdance in Ireland. Do you remember that show?
I don't. No.
We went to this like big theater, and there was, of course, that's the big Irish thing, the Irish dancing, the Riverdance. They had a Riverdance show, and I remember Bella was so this was 2007, so she was 5, and she was there with her cousin and Emily, and they were there sitting there together. So me and Arlene and your mom were sitting there, and Bella and Emily were right in front of us, and so they were sitting there waiting for the show to start, and the show started, and the guy comes out, the lead guy, and he's got this, I mean, he's got his high boots on, he's got his like riding breeches on, and he's got this big poofy shirt, you know, with the big poofy sleeves and all, and he's dancing. And I always remember Bella leaning over to Emily and grabbing her arm, and she goes, "Oh, he's so handsome." and I remember going, "Oh, that's my 5-year-old girl," and I don't know. That was really, I really first realized, I'm like, oh, there's gonna come a day in there where she's gonna be getting married and moving on, huh? So, how long have we been going now? You got a little timer on that thing?
Wreck. That's all it says.
It's wreck. Well,
Wreck.
that's a long time.
Yes. We might be getting wrecked.
So I've got this going, so I want to kind of bring this to a boil, and we'll put the veggies on here and kind of mix all that together. But that Guinness is in there with that beef stock, and it's going to mix together, cook in real good. So we'll kind of let that simmer for about an hour or so, and then we'll come back to that here. So how we doing? Is it still looking all right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll let these vegetables saute a little bit more, and then we'll come right back. All right. So we're back here. Got our vegetables. That's probably good enough. Got them there. You can smell them. They smell good.
Smell good. Smell-o-vision's enabled, by the way.
Oh, it is? Oh,
Yes.
good. Good.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Oh,
so
you did?
Yeah. Apparently some people said it was broken last video, so I went ahead and fixed it.
Good, good man. All right. So we're gonna just dump these right on in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but this turns out it smells like it's going to, doesn't it?
Smells good, yeah.
Yeah. Now we get all these veggies in there again. So we got it. We already got it to a boil here, so plenty of liquid. We're gonna let this simmer. So we got it to a boil already, and we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit. Just let it simmer for about an hour and a half. These vegetables will cook down. The meat, you can see, even though it was a little pink, I don't see any pink in there anymore. So this has been in here for a little bit. So all these flavors are gonna mix together in here. And there's more to come. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, just let it simmer. I'll put the top on, and we'll be back in about an hour and a half. Well, we'll be back in a little bit here, and then we'll time it. We'll do the other things together and time it to get it all right. So we'll be right back. Hey, we're back. All right, so it's been about an hour and 15 minutes or so. I've got, come get a shot of this here. So you can, I've had this simmer, and I've turned the heat up actually. It was simmering. Take this top off here. How's that smell?
Smells good.
It's pretty good, doesn't it? So I'm going to take this over here. Okay, I've got a colander here over a little pot. I want to catch the juice off of this now. So we'll talk about that in a second here. So I'm going to pour this off. I want to catch all as much of this juice as I can. Meat goes in, vegetables go in. All right, now I want to get this pot back over here, back over this way. Got the heat still on. What I want to do now, I want to take a quarter cup of butter, which is about half a stick of butter. This is just salted butter. Drop that in. Get that going around. So we're going to saute some bacon in here. That's about 3 ounces. Well, it says 3 ounces. That's about 5 slices of bacon right there. Now, all that's going to go in there. I'm going to kind of get the bacon going, because what we're going to do is get bacon, and I've cut up some shallots, which are, you know what shallot is, Ben?
I have no clue what a shallot
It's basically a fancy onion. So, or you could use onions if you can't find shallots. I cut up, we're going to put 3 shallots in there. So bacon, we'll kind of brown this bacon up in here. Got the butter going, shallots, and mushrooms. Let me put, let's put shallots in here too. All that's going in. And then I've got about, the recipe calls for 4 ounces of mushrooms. I like the mushrooms, so I'm going with 8. This is just a small little thing. I have washed these off, everything else, and all that's going to go in. We'll saute these. Got the butter going on it. We'll kind of saute these for about 10 minutes or so. While we're doing that, alright, so come back to that. I got some potatoes boiling here. Alright, now we're going to come back over here and get all that, see all the juice that we caught, so there's some good meaty juice there. Now, the recipe calls is to pick all the meat out. So I'm going to kind of go through here. While that stuff's sauteing over there, I'm going to kind of pick this meat out. Now, it says to discard the vegetables. I can't, now this is my first time making this, so I kind of have a hard time understanding why that would be. I might just save it just to see. But, you know, one thing I've noticed with this recipe, Benjamin, is Have you noticed me put any spices in?
No.
Yeah. So it's kind of an earthy, kind of no nonsense, no frills meal here. And really you're using the vegetables and the onions and the leeks and all these vegetables to flavor everything. And then of course you got the Guinness. I guess there's some flavor. So stout's real heavy beer. If you don't drink, really, I mean, cooking it as long as we did, it cooks the alcohol out of it. Alcohol's got a pretty low boiling point. It cooks off pretty easy. That's how they distill it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is going here. I'm going to keep this stirring around, cooking out this bacon and the mushrooms. Might take a little while here. Ooh, smell that? It's the smell-o-meter on? Is it going good?
Yeah, smells good.
All right, so I'm going to put the top on this to kind of cut it out a little bit. Keep picking the meat out here. Do you remember us driving around in Ireland?
I just remember it was really green, like I said.
Your head was down playing your Game Boy game the whole time or something, huh?
I mean, was it not green?
Oh, it was green.
Yeah, exactly.
What, do you remember us driving on the left side of the road?
Yes, I do.
So we rented a van. The Ritter family truckster, taking it all around Ireland, driving around all around the Dingle Peninsula and over to the Blarney Stone. And I remember every time we were driving along, you remember I would take a turn too tight or I'd catch a curb or something, and you remember what I would say?
No.
We kind of go up on a curb because you know you're driving on the right side of the van, and it was a stick shift to boot. So every time we go up over a curb or hit something like that, I'd always go, "Oh, we just ran over a leprechaun." You guys would laugh. You know, thought that was pretty funny. Of course, I guess if you're related to a leprechaun or something, I wouldn't be, but.
You know many people related to leprechauns?
A few. I do remember we went to on a different trip. We were in Paris for something when y'all were really little, and we got caught downtown in Paris when everybody was getting ready to go to the France-Ireland soccer game, football game, soccer for Americans. And we were waiting and waiting, and every subway car that came by was full, and they were all full of these rowdy Irish guys going to their football match. And finally, you know, we're standing there with you. You were just a little guy, and Bella was we were pushing a stroller around, taking her around, and finally, these Irish guys kind of opened up the subway a little bit, opened up a car. Hey, they're like, hey, let's move over, let's make room for this nice family. And we got on the subway, and Will kind of looked up at his mommy. He goes, "Mommy," he goes, "well, we sure are lucky those nice leprechauns came along," because they were all dressed in green and everything else like leprechauns, you know. So, all right, so potatoes. Check those. I pretty much got all the meat out of here. I don't see any. It says to discard. Man, I guess it's just been boiled down and all the flavors out of it. Maybe that's why they say discard it, but
Probably.
I'll set this aside. I think I got all the meat out of here. A couple little pieces here and there. Now the juice, I'll save that. Now, let me get a fork, see how those potatoes are doing. Just no way of doing it, but just kind of couple more minutes.
Wonder
All
why.
right. Now, what we're basically going to make here, see all the juice coming off of that? So you've got fat coming off the bacon, and you've got butter fat, you know, which is the fatty part of milk. So that's your fat. See all the juice, and then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of let this go just a little bit longer, and we're going to mix flour with that and mix it in, and that makes a roux, which is French for, I don't know. What do you think?
Roux the day? I don't know.
I don't know. No, it's not that. It's not a roux. It's R-U-O-U-X. So it's and basically that's going to be the basis for our gravy, our thick gravy for this. So we'll let this go a little bit longer, and then we'll mix that in, make a roux, and then we're going to take the juice off of this and mix it back in. Then add our meat back in, and then we're done. The potatoes are just about done, and we'll be set to pop. So here's the juice that we pulled off. So probably 2 cups maybe that we got off of that. So I'm gonna go ahead, and so I've got a 1/4 cup of flour. So I'm just gonna mix a little bit in here, kind of mix it around, and it'll thicken it. It'll kind of make a paste, and then when you mix the juice back into it, it's going to make a nice gravy. And then we put the meat back in, and there you go. See how it's thickening up? It's kind of a paste.
Yeah.
Cook out a little bit more. I'm going to put the top on and let this cook out a little bit more. And I think our potatoes are just about done. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off and let them sit in that hot water and finish cooking up a little bit. Let's see. So we got the meat ready to go. Any other Ireland stories you can think of?
No.
So we had this is beef and Guinness casserole. Of course, everybody knows the shepherd's pie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got that too. That might be on the menu on down the road. Potato cakes, looking at something like that too. This is cooking down a little bit more, cook a little more juice out of it. So let's go ahead and put the rest of our flour in. And our roux. See, it's like all this paste now. See that?
Yeah. It's like something you'd eat for breakfast.
We'll let this go for a couple of minutes, slowly cooking in here. For breakfast, oh yeah, like roll it up in a breakfast burrito.
Yeah, or something like that. Or just eat it straight up.
Smells like it could, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is done up nice. Bacon just makes everything better, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right, so let's work on this meat, this juice here. So I'm going to slowly stir this juice back in. Work this back in. You mix it in, and it's mixing with that roux, and see that it's starting to gravy up.
Yes.
Is that a word?
Gravy up.
Gravy up?
Well, that would be 2 words. But
Well, it's
are you
hyphenated.
are you making gravy a verb?
A what?
Are you verbifying it?
Yeah, gravy in it.
Gravying it.
We just invented a new word. See, look at that. See that? See, it looks like gravy in there
Yeah,
now.
it does.
Making that roux. So that's the juice from that meat and all those vegetables. So you're pulling all the flavors off those vegetables by simmering it that long. Oh man, that smells good. And there's no other spices in this. That's a crazy thing about it. I suppose you could probably add some English type spices, maybe some thyme or something. I love thyme.
Is thyme a spice or an herb? Because herb is not a spice.
What's an example of a spice?
Paprika.
Like cinnamon's a spice, right?
Cinnamon's a spice.
So I guess if it's part of something, if it's like bark, like cinnamon's bark, right?
I think so.
And a herb would be like a living plant, maybe.
Yeah. Rosemary.
Pepper's a spice, right? Dried peppercorns.
Yeah.
Is that a spice? Yeah, pepper is.
I think so.
Oh, that smells wonderful.
That smells good.
So we return the meat to that. So here's my plate of the meat. I'm gonna drop that back in there and just heat that back up. And that's gonna be our casserole. We'll serve that over boiled potatoes. And that's gonna be our Guinness and beef and Guinness casserole. Oh man, that I'm surprised. I mean, again, there's just no spices, no herbs. It's just using onions and the vegetables for the flavor. That's the casserole, and it's got a nice gravy to it. Smells great. All right, we'll come back. We'll let this heat back up a little bit. Turn the heat back up. We'll heat it back up, get it on some potatoes, and we'll try it here, taste test it here in 1 second. So we'll be right back. Hey, back. So it's cooled down enough now to eat. Seems like there's a lot of steam coming off of it. Just boiled up some potatoes, put this over the top, and smells wonderful here, so I'm gonna give it a try here. So the meat is like really tender. That's good. It makes a nice gravy. Nice hearty meal for the last cold days of the winter. Hope you enjoy. Don't forget, put the ingredients in the menu and the directions down below. And on your way down, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. It's Colonel, over and out.